What up, guys? I am Sa Ra Garvey, and welcome back to Class is in Session with me, myself, Sa Ra Garvey. And I know you see what's on the board. I know you see it. Britain didn't abolish slavery. What do you mean, Sa Ra Garvey? Of course Britain abolished slavery. Well, it depends what you mean. Let's get into it.
Here we go!
So, we all know, or don't know, that in 1807, Great Britain abolished slavery. So they tell us. They tell us that they abolished slavery in 1807. Now, that sounds good. And I've spoken to British people who say, yes, of course, the British abolished slavery. Now, my thing is, we have to be very careful about being proud of things when it comes to our government. That's just my own personal point of view. Because governments say they work for the people and they say they do certain things, and then people attach themselves to the government and then get proud of that. But a lot of the stuff that the governments do, you wouldn't be proud of. So they say that they abolished slavery. In what year? In 1807. That is a date for all of you to remember. 1807 is apparently when Britain abolished slavery. But I say that they didn't abolish slavery. What do I mean? This is what I mean. Some of you have heard of the Scramble for Africa. Some of you have heard of it. Now, there's a thing called the Berlin Conference. Now, let me write that down. Berlin Conference. Right? The Berlin Conference. Now, in 1807, Britain said they abolished slavery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 decades later, they hold the Berlin Conference, or they go to the Berlin Conference in Berlin. Now, in Berlin, there were many nations. There were Great Britain, France, Germany, Spain, Portugal, USA, Netherlands, the Ottoman Empire, along with a few others. What did they do at the Berlin Conference? Well, they decided to do at the Berlin Conference in 1884 to 1885, lasted a year. Some people say 1881 to 1885. You know, it's disputed. But the Berlin Conference happened from 1884 to 1885. And they decided, all of these nations, all of these European nations, and one Arab nation being the Ottoman Empire, they decided to carve up Africa. They said, hey, France, you take that part. Hey, Britain, you take that part. Hey, Portugal, you take that part. Hey, Spain, you take that part. Netherlands, you take that part. And what they proceeded to do was to re-enslave the whole of the African continent. Now, I'm sorry. You can't say that you abolished slavery. You can't celebrate that you abolished slavery and then 7 decades later decide to re-enslave black people. That's me. That's like me saying, oh, hang on, I've been punching you in your face, right? For hundreds of years. Let's say for decades. Let's whittle it down. Let's say I've been punching you in your face for a decade, okay? And then I tell you, I'm going to stop punching you in your face. And you say, thank you so much, Sarah, for stop punching me in my face. Really appreciate that. And I stop punching you. And then after a year, I start chopping your legs down. I start giving you leg kicks to the thigh. And you're saying, Sarah, you're beating me up again. Oh no, but it's not me punching you in your face. It's me kicking you in your thigh.
So in 1807, the British abolished slavery. Would you say that's a good thing?
I would say so.
So would I. Right? So
it's hard to disagree.
no, but you laugh, right? Yeah. But this is what I'm talking about, what white supremacy actually is, because I talk about the bipolar and schizophrenic nature of it. So 1807, we abolished slavery.
And we abolished the trade in 1807.
We abolished the trade.
And it was slavery was 1833.
1833. Yeah. So 1807, the trade, 1833. Yeah. So if we go to 1833 when they said absolutely nothing, right? You know what the Berlin Conference is?
Not offhand.
The Berlin Conference is a conference where 13 European nations, you had the Ottoman Empire, which isn't European, but you had France, Germany, Spain.
Well, the colonial
Norway,
powers.
the
Is this
colonial
the
powers.
scramble for Africa?
And they scrambled for Africa.
Yeah.
But I would say that you just re-enslaved people. So you can't abolish slavery and then re-enslave a continent.
I think
that's for me, that's the schizophrenic bipolar nature of what it is. Because if I say I no longer have a problem with you, I don't have a problem with you, and I've been historically hurting you and your family, and I stop, you might say, thank you very much, Sarah, don't do that. But then if two weeks later I get all my guys and I kick your door down and I take over your house, you're like, whoa, I thought you stopped messing with me.
It's like, yes, but you're still effing with me. You're still fucking with me, okay? So this is what Great Britain done. Great Britain said that they abolished slavery in 1807. And then in 1884 to 1885, decided with a load of other nations to re-enslave the continent of Africa. Now, some people say it wasn't slavery. Tell that to Congo, the Congolese people, when it comes to King Leopold of Belgium.
The leaders of the Berlin Conference hoped that by chopping Africa up and deciding artificial and arbitrary lines among themselves, they could avoid fighting with each other over who owned what, and could civilize local populations with Christianity, and hand it over as the personal property of Belgium's King Leopold II. He agreed to send over Christian missionaries and turn the territory into a free trade area for all of Europe, as well as to help the local population. But the Congo Free State became anything but free for the people that lived there. A worldwide boom in rubber meant that Leopold II could cash in big time, but tapping rubber from trees was back-breaking work. So to source enough labor, Leopold effectively turned all of the Congo into a slave plantation. The labor policy was known by some as the Red Rubber System, and it was designed to maximize extraction. Many of the soldiers had been kidnapped in raids on villages in their childhood and brought to Roman Catholic missions where they received military training. Villagers were asked to meet insane rubber quotas. If a village didn't meet its targets, the military were expected to take hostages and shoot them. Women in villages were often held hostage or raped to speed up production. Severed limbs of villagers had to be produced as evidence that each bullet fired had been used to kill a villager. So if a soldier missed a shot, they would often cut off the hand of an innocent victim just so they could produce a limb to show their superiors.
Cut off the hands of the Africans, killed them, killed 10 million, and a lot of people don't even know his name. Okay? Tell that to the people of Rhodesia, where Cecil Rhodes killed millions of people. So when people say, oh, Britain abolished slavery, it's my personal point of view that you can't abolish slavery and then go to a conference and then re-enslave a whole continent. It makes no sense. So when people celebrate Britain's, abolishing slavery, to me, it's kind of short-lived. I have to say what I know. And the thing is, a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people just say, oh, Britain abolished slavery and we're great. And it's like William Wilberforce and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, you know what? You can't punch someone in the face, stop doing it, and then start kicking them. And that's my take on the fact that Britain didn't abolish slavery. I hope that helped.